So I I did feel that when I was working, kind of trying to work on building a land page for TrustScore.
Yeah.
So I did feel that we need to build that connection. So looking at the current website, I felt that that connection was lacking, that we need to have in a B2C scenario.
Right, exactly.
So like in this case, I mean, what exactly a customer is benefiting from this particular solution? Is it they'll have some savings to buy the TV that they always wanted to buy, or something that could probably strike that connection with the customer would be a great start point.
Agreed. And I like, if you look at these guys here, they are basically saying earn cashback. They're basically talking about all those different service ideas, more inviting, more rewarding. They are talking about how more money in your pocket, $1,100 per year when you're using the card. But I want you to take it a step abroad. I want you to take it to a broader step first, which is exactly what we're trying to do in this document. We want these people to know that we're not just trying to solve their problem, we're trying to solve this bigger problem. So even when they download our app, yes, maybe they're going to save, let's even say $10,000 a year because they're using YamaPay, but we want them to be, we want them to be part of a bigger cause. And that's really what we're doing here. There's this whole field in marketing called cause marketing. And I will share with you a YouTube playlist, which is a bunch of videos from a company that does this cause marketing as a service, right? So the idea behind cause marketing is that you're going to take, for example, homelessness in America, and you are going to connect it with YamaPay.
Okay.
And you're basically telling Americans that when you are part of the YamaPay universe, you're not just coming because of the money that we're going to put in your pocket. We're going to do that. That's not a problem. But you know what?
Right.
You're going to be part of that bigger solution of helping us save $40 billion that get wasted in the American economy every year because these stupid executives in these retail companies and financial services companies, they keep throwing the money out the window. We're not going to say stupid. We're going to basically say they are not going about it the way that we want to go about it. And when you are part of our tribe, it's about joining a movement. It's about being part of this tribe, a number of people who believe, a number of believers. So this is what Steve Jobs at Apple did. If you think about Apple today, Apple is not, as we all know, it's not the iPhone, it's not the iMac, it's none of the above. Apple is something else in people's minds, right? And they, if you go to YouTube, if you want to go to YouTube now for a minute and turn off the audio on the call and watch this video. I think it's 2 minutes. And it's the campaign, the Think Different campaign.
Okay.
Okay, so I think if you type Apple, Apple Think Different.
Yeah.
Exactly, Apple Think Different. And it's 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead and listen to it. And you can put me on mute. And I'll do the same. I'll do the same.
Okay.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Got it?
Yeah, I see what they try to do, like build a story and try to motivate people also in that.
And in some ways, they're basically saying it's almost like there is this religion, not Islam, not Christianity, not Judaism. There's this religion called the Apple religion. And the Apple religion
Yeah.
is not about the product, it's about the people that we are essentially saying in this universe of 7 billion people, there are groups of people that we can see some common characteristics among them, right?
Right.
And then you and I, because we don't have anybody else on the phone, we can talk about Islam and we can talk about how Prophet Muhammad came with a different message. There was all this stuff
Yeah.
happening in Jahiliyyah, right? All those different things that are happening in Jahiliyyah. And then he came with a different philosophy. And that philosophy then, canceled out a lot of those other things that used to happen. The philosophy that we're bringing with YamaPay is the fact that, in my mind, actually, and as you were watching the thing, I remember this TV show, and I want to tell you a little bit about that TV show. I don't know if you've ever watched this show. Have you ever seen this show?
No, I haven't. I've actually seen it on TV, but I haven't watched it.
Okay, well, the main thing about this character is this guy. I think he has a certain psychological disease. I think he's I don't know what the word is, but sometimes we say the main idea behind him is if he looks at these spoons on the table and he notices that one of them is not at the same level with all the other spoons,
Yeah.
and you'll be speaking to him, he will mentally be distracted by the fact that he does not want to do anything in life other than go to that table and fix that spoon that's out of line.
Okay.
So the idea here is that a lot of entrepreneurs are people who are problem finders. They see the broken window and they don't, you're not going to be able to stop Alicia from getting up and fixing the window. If she's the kind of person that when she sees the window broken, she gets up and fixes it, this is the kind of person we're talking about. And we're trying to attract those types of people to us. Because there is a big problem, there's a big window that's broken, and that's the economic landscape where, like right now, and the problem you and I have is that we're educated, so we have a problem. Our brain works in a certain way. Sometimes we cannot stop it, right?
Yeah.
As you know, we call that the curse of knowledge. Like right now, the curse of knowledge for me is I know those $40 billion that are spent on marketing by the top 20 companies in America are being wasted.
Right.
And it just kills me that that's happening. And I want to figure a way to strike a dent in that problem. And and we're trying to look for people who are like that. People who are questioning, why the hell is this going on? So a big message we have is the fact that we're looking for people who somehow they are the type of people who are always expecting more. They're always asking these companies to be smarter, to give them better services, to help them save more money. And they want them to save those $40 billion from being wasted. They want them to put these dollars in social programs and corporate responsibility programs, diversity programs, help us get rid of racism and all of those different things. And a lot of companies want to do things, but sometimes they don't have the money. Why? Because there's somebody sitting in the marketing department wasting $2 billion a year. And nobody thought about it for a minute. So going back to this Apple video, I'd love for you to think about, you're really talking about that in this world, there are people who are, just by the way they are made, they don't sit still. They're always looking for a problem to fix.
Right.
And then you say, and boy, do we have a problem for you. It's a big one. It's a big problem. It's a very big problem. Very big. thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans are living in tents on the freeway, on the streets of Los Angeles, on the streets of San Francisco. And then you need to get angry and you say, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
And then you're going to basically say, did you know that the top 20 companies, financial services, as well as retailers, are spending $40 billion a year on marketing to get your attention? And when they get your attention and you look at the email coming to you with that cold marketing message from them, it's about something that you have no interest in. And then you look at that email message and you scratch your head and you're basically wondering, why on earth are they sending me such a message about a product that I have no interest in? They spend so much money creating the email, creating the campaign, hiring the people, blah, 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 and sending me something that is completely irrelevant to me. So you know what I do usually? I just delete that message. But imagine if they send me a message that says, Alicia, you have 2 credit cards in your wallet. One of them is 14.5% interest rate. The other one is 9% interest rate. Both of those cards, Alicia, have high interest rate on them. You know what's happening, Alicia? These cards are costing you $2,000 a year in finance charges. Now, Alicia's listening because, oh my God, how did they know? How did they know I had these cards? Of course. And then you're going to go, oh, of course they know. I mean, I got it from them. They have everything about me. They know all this stuff about me. And by the way, they're coming to me and they're talking to me about the interest rate on those cards. Oh my God, they just found out that my FICO score has improved and I should not have these cards anymore. I should have better cards. And all of a sudden, you are in front of a highly relevant message. Which means in the initial scenario, the money is wasted. In the second scenario, 2 things have happened. They are going to help you save money and they are going to get a customer.
Yeah.
And the money that got wasted in the first example can now be used to do something else. Maybe hire one more person. Maybe send the money over downtown to that hospital that needs money because they have a lot of patients and not enough room. And you can think about all the different scenarios that can happen once we save the money. And that's the interesting challenge here. And we start with this idea of expect more from these companies. We think we can help you get a whole lot more value from all those things that you use. We actually can help you get a lot more value of the money that you have, the way you spend it, the way you save it, and the way you end up using it. So that's how we want to differentiate between us and Xero and all these other companies. If we can start with the heart, and then Mr. Monk is a great example of the kind of people we're looking for. They are people who will not sit still unless you are able to, unless they're able to get up and fix the problem. That's the kind of people we're looking for. And of course, at the same time, they will become YammerPay users and they will save all this money, but they need to believe in a bigger purpose. And the bigger purpose is to save the American economy. And if we do so, we're going to be able to also help other economies. But we have to start with the saying that says charity begins at home. So that's what I know. I don't know if you went to Santa Clara thinking, I'm going to see an opportunity for an internship and then I'm going to get on the phone with this guy and look what he's talking to me about.
No.
I don't know if you're expecting,
learning about how you're envisioning your product to be and just having all that information I think it's really helpful for me.
I appreciate you listening.
Which most interns actually don't get exposed to because they're actually working on, say, a particular feature or just like a particular part of a product. So just getting the holistic picture and understanding your vision behind it and then mapping that vision to something that the customer would actually like. So I think that's great.
Fantastic. And I think if we, and that's why I believe, inshallah, we do it that way, then people are going to not even care And that's what happens with the iPhone in the beginning. People are not going to care whether you have all the features they're looking for or not. There's something else they
Right.
believe in. They believe in you, and you believe in them, and together you are creating this community of believers in a particular
Right.
vision of the future. You know, I personally, the vision of the future I have is I cannot even imagine what this country will look like if you're able to save 40 to 100, 200 billion dollars from getting wasted, because that's what I see. And as a Muslim, you're always like, oh my God, we're wasting this money. It's kind of painful for us, right? When we think about it Islamically,
Yeah.
when you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love people who waste. And a lot of
Right.
marketers, when you read some marketing books, they will tell you, I mean, marketing is one of the most inefficient things. And then of course, they go and scream to the salespeople, and the salespeople go and scream to the marketing people. And both of them are wasting so much money, you know?
Right.
So I think I'm going to leave you with all of this. That we've been doing the recording as well of this conversation. I wrote one time. So as you can see here, there's a lot of this content that's really more about my other life. But there is an article on Medium that I wrote. Higher expectations of, yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can pull that up. So I think I expressed some of those ideas in one of the articles, but I think I kind of gave you now the whole story with us having this conversation. And if we, yeah, this is a good one to read. Does your upbringing influence your startup ideas? And I think there's a bit more here. Yeah. So I need to go back to this article and change the name of because I'm using the old name of the product, Best Cash. But let me share
Right.
this with you. I think it also has some ideas. So I think with all of that, you can then go into, I already have you here on Slack, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You just came in this morning. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to share with you that link. And I think for now, even if you want, like when you saw the example on Trust Score, we created that animation video. maybe another idea is to start with some kind of an explainer that talks about the problem, right? So imagine if there's a
Right.
video on the screen, and that video, we can actually go to Fiverr and have somebody, there's what's called stock video. So somebody
Okay.
can take a bunch of video shots that are already available. Let's say there is a video already of, see here it says Shutterstock stock video. You
Okay.
in the movie industry, they call this B-roll. B-roll is just basically camera video content. Let's say you take a video of downtown San Francisco, and then you can show that video, and you can be saying something, right?
Okay.
So imagine if there is a video in front of you, and it shows a couple of homeless people on the sidewalk. And then as you're looking at that scene, there is voiceover that says, in many American cities today, right, homelessness is a huge problem, right?
Right.
So here is an example of what's called stock video. It's basically, you know, human beings, scenes, and then you put voiceover on top of them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the idea. So what we could do is we can go to Fiverr, find somebody there that can take a script that we write, right?
Yeah.
And we give them the script, and what they end up doing is that they end up basically stitching together a number of video scenes.
Right.
So for example, yeah, so here's an example. This one is 25 seconds. So what a videographer will do is they will take a bunch of those. They may take 1 second from this video and 1 second from another video, and then they end up creating this complete video that you watch and you're like, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But the way, see here it says get videos for less than $9 a clip.
Okay.
So let's say you take this scene and you basically say something like, you know, when we're working and life is good and we're getting paid on a regular basis, You can basically have any kind of voiceover you want on the same video.
Right.
you know, and right here they can tell you if you want it to be high resolution, 2 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes, 20 megabytes, 4 megabytes, and the prices differ, whether it's high definition or even more. I guess the 4K is more, depending on where you're going to broadcast the video. And I think maybe for the web, maybe it's HD. Right, so we can buy those videos, and I think if we go to somebody on Fiverr, they themselves may actually have a ton of those. We just need to tell them, we need to help them envision what kind of video shot we're looking for. So, do you want to take a stab at it and think of the whole, think about the whole page as an experience? It's a movie, and maybe it's then inside that movie there are subsets, right? There is a sub movie. Maybe the first one is about this whole idea of the kind of people who expect more, the kind of people who cannot sit still and not fix a problem. That's the first one, which is, that's the kind of people we want. And then you come back and say, because we are actually that kind of people, we saw this problem. And then you can tell them what that problem is. It's the problem of how many Americans are in dire straits, and COVID-19 made it a whole lot worse. And you talk about the homelessness, and you talk about foreclosures, and you talk about debt, and you talk about how people don't even have enough money to fix the car if it breaks down. And then you come back and say, while all of this is happening, the top 50 retailers and financial services companies are wasting $50 to $100 billion a year trying to get our attention.
Right.
And they fail miserably. At YamaPay, we decided to do something about it. We wanted to create a technology with that whole concept of expect more that is going to step into this problem and help you capture a lot of those dollars, which, to be honest with you, it's your money. We want to honor the work you're doing, and we want you to keep more of those dollars that you earn by helping you capture those savings on a daily basis as you are shopping around. We want to also put in front of you retail offers that give you more discounts. We want to come back and also give you YamaPay points that you can convert into gift cards. But we know what we hope for you and for us, for all of America. We hope that you are going to learn how to manage finances even better than you do today. Because what we want for you and many of us, we want to get to that rich dad, poor dad stage of having investments. So when the sky falls down on us with a COVID-19 or any other emergency that happens in our lives, we should never be at the mercy of the next paycheck, because we do not want to end up on the street like how many Americans have ended up on the street as homeless Americans, as you can see in these tents. And that's why we want you to come with us on this journey. It is going to be a long road for us, but as you stick with us and we stick with you, we're going to send a message to all of these financial services companies and all these retailers that we're going to be expecting a lot more from them. And that's what the YamaPay movement is about. We welcome you as part of our community. And so far, so good.
Okay.
You see,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad we recorded it, because what I will do is, let me stop the recording here.